We believe.
Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? McMahon ready to take to him. 1, 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
You know, he got screwed again, and it hurt, because even though I knew it was 99% sure was going to happen. But then, a ray of hope suddenly just showed up on NXT. They said his name and he appeared.
Yes, because I've made you believe now. He did.
I believe now. I believe Joe Hendry now.
I know. Believe is kind of the thing, because there's another guy that kept talking about believing who just re-debuted on Raw, but in a different capacity. But no, we're talking about Joe Hendry. TNA Joe Hendry. Not WWE superstar, not AEW superstar. TNA Joe Hendry. And the thing is we're not the only ones talking about him. Joe Hendry of TNA is the most talked about wrestler going right now, not being with the last name Wyatt.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I kept speaking about it through our Discord and everything like that. Like, dude, Joe Hendry. Once the TNA thing started crossing over, immediately I was like, Justin, Joe Hendry. He got me tired of. He's just like, what? Joe Hendry? I was like, look him up. And then he was tired of me talking about it. He looked him up. He goes, oh, okay. And then WWE started hitting at it. And, they kept saying, we believe and stuff like that. Well, he finally appeared on NXT. And it became the most liked video that WWE ever released since WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
So anything from your experience of this journey, from you not knowing who Joe Hendry was to now being a believer?
Yeah, it's so I finally started checking out stuff. I mean, first I watched his video, which is, God, that song is so catchy. It's like it's stuck in your head, man. My friend James, like, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get how long it's gonna take for me to get his theme song out of my head. Then checking out his stuff, his promo work. I caught a little bit of Against All Odds, TNA's pay-per-view that came out last Friday, day before Clash of the Castle. Caught a little bit of online thanks to certain means. That's all I'll say. Because I wanted to see what happened with Jordan Grace's Open Challenge, which they did talk about on NXT. We'll get into more detail here, but NXT's Tatum Paxley is the one who showed up to answer the Open Challenge and face Jordan Grace.
That's what we figured too.
Yeah, that seemed like the most likely candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out a really good match.
Yeah.
But I also checked out what was going on with the Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian feud that's going on, which continued on NXT.
Right. That was a shocker. Was not expecting Kazarian on NXT, but
No, I like when the photo, they purposely put out the photo beforehand,
right?
Showing Kazarian chatting with Shawn Michaels backstage. I was like, oh my God, Kazarian's gonna be in it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, if they're revealing that, I was like, they have to have Joe Hendry showing up as a surprise. It's like,
Right.
It's like, and sure enough, that's what happened. And no, it's like, I see why people like him so much. He's got the charisma. It's like the smile, it's like,
yeah,
the catchy theme song. It's like, he's got that organic over kind of feeling that LA Knight got.
And he's using and the cool thing about it is he's gotten over on basically a promotion that hardly anyone watches. They said that they can't even draw a rating for it. We know about it, but we don't even cover it here. We try and cover everything that is wrestling, but we really hardly ever cover it. We know who Jordan Grace is, but you really didn't know
So
who
we have
Joe
the time
Hendry
for TNA. It's like between WWE and AEW. I got it's like it's
Right. Right. Plus, it anyway. But that I remember the first time I heard that song, and he made it like that's Joe Hendry that made the song. And then he
So apparently he's a musician as well. It's
yeah
like
yeah, but this isn't the first time he appeared on WWE television. You see that video floating around when he was like the guy that was with Rusev and Lana when he's got like got his actual hair color and stuff like that. So
oh really?
this isn't the first time, but he was on Busted Open Radio either today or yesterday. And he you can tell he's soaking in what's going on right now. But the viral him and McIntyre, he's been doing basically what Matt Cardona started with the Long Island IC stuff way back when. And then the Young Bucks did the being the elite, and that kind of took some fire, and that's how we got kind of helped restart the AEW stuff. And then Joe Hendry's always kind of been in the background of the song and stuff and gain notoriety. And then McIntyre really got really big on social media, and then more people kept bringing up Joe Hendry as more of like a funny meme thing. Like he became a meme before people even knew who he was. And then now we're here, and he's like putting up billboards over in Scotland, which I mean, but he's putting up billboards.
I saw that for a Clash,
and you heard the pop that he had, and then like now WWE was like, yeah, we believe in Joe Hendry, and I really haven't heard a whole lot of his mic skills, and what little I heard on NXT, I was like, yeah, and he's got the look. I haven't really seen a whole lot of his in-ring work, but
I saw a little bit of it with the match against Kazarian. It's easy. He's good.
Yeah. I mean, if he's just as good as, because LA Knight is like not like the best in-ring worker, but the dude knows how to put on a match.
Yeah.
And he's got the charisma and everything like that. But it's going to be interesting to see what Joe Hendry's contract is in TNA, because if WWE had their say right now, he'd be on NXT tearing it up with Trick and
absolutely.
With that, especially with what's going on. So yes, it's definitely not going to be the last time we're going to see Joe Hendry on an NXT programming. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised we see him in the next Rumble if he keeps this up. And I don't know what their contract is, but that's kind of the next thing is like you might see him in the Rumble.
Yeah.
With this. So, any other?
Not be surprised if he shows up at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I'll give more thoughts about it when we get to NXT later in the show. But
yeah, no, it's just crazy of how like 2 weeks ago I was like, dude, you need to Joe Hendry, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll look into him, and now it's just like you can't get on the internet without Joe Hendry popping up in your face. It's just kind of crazy how the internet and it works and stuff like that, and how big he is already on social media and stuff. But another thing that as far as like hell is frozen over, can't believe this is actually happening. There's been some rumbles that Shane McMahon is trying to be all elite, which is crazy. Do you see this actually happening? And even if it does, isn't it just going to be awkward and it's going to screw? Like you thought a locker room cancer was like, CM Punk or Jack Perry or something like that. Shane McMahon literally got fired from WWE because he kept trying to change and push around his weight for the Rumble at one point. So just your thoughts on this.
Yeah. So apparently Conrad Thompson mentioned this on JR's Grow JR podcast today, that he's heard that Shane McMahon has reached out to either the talent to see to discuss the idea of maybe joining AEW in some capacity. Conrad, this quote is, "There was a friend of ours who went on his way to text me, hey, that's not as crazy as you think. I know for sure that Shane McMahon has reached out to wrestlers on the roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea." So apparently he sent out feelers through wrestlers that he knows to see if Tony is interested in talking to him. I don't know what capacity it would be. I find it very interesting that you'd want to work with AEW rather than go. unless he feels like there's with what's going on, even with his father not working there anymore, maybe he just wants to try something different. Who knows? I don't know. It's I don't know what he could bring or contribute. I know it's like he's done a lot of stuff. He worked a lot of behind the scenes stuff before he even ever became a on-air personality. It's like he stuff like that. So it's like maybe a backstage role, maybe concerning booking. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'd be a very fascinating thing if it actually happened. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, like, welcome, Jeremy. Yeah, that's the only thing is, like, I see him as a backstage role, but do you see him and Tony just butting heads before it even starts? That's my because you know how Tony basically this is just me speculating, but I mean, I think Tony butting heads with Cody is the reason Cody's in WWE right now. It's just because he had this creative vision, and Tony finally, once he kind of got settled, they became different working. It became a different working relationship, and basically, I guess Tony basically put his foot down and said, "No, I'm making the final booking decisions." And and he didn't like the way Tony was booking it. Well, making the matches, because I don't think he's that great of a booker. But and I think that was when Cody was like, "Well, I kind of backed myself in a corner. No one likes me," and I guess and then WWE made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and obviously he made the right decision based on where he is in WWE compared to anywhere else. But I mean, this comes off of which arguably AEW just had one of their best dynamites that I can remember in a while. So it's kind of weird how that news comes out, and then Tony just is like, all right, if Shane and the scuttlebutt of like, well, and especially with you got to do something because Scott D'Amore, you can't have him until February, Tony. So that's exactly what AEW needs, in my opinion. We don't need Shane McMahon. I think he needs Scott D'Amore in the way he books and stuff, especially when you've got Eric Young sitting there calling Triple H a genius. And I mean, from what we've seen for WWE television so far, and especially what we got on Raw, he's doing really well with that. Any other thoughts on what you think about like them just it's probably not going to happen, but it's just weird that it's coming up, I found.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was like kind of like, huh?
I don't know. Last little thing before, I know there's not really a whole lot of big news because all the news happened on the shows.
Yeah.
But I know we'll get into on Raw with, obviously it's our header, the WYATT 6 showing up 6, even though there's 5, but we'll get into why that's the 6. But a lot of speculations are on that. But it doesn't just, WYATTs weren't showing up as far as their presence were heard. There was something that happened. Basically, the lights shut down and stuff like that on the Pat McAfee show, which is much more ESPN sports based. They really don't ever talk about wrestling until they have like maybe a wrestler on to, talk to. But because of that happening, you had like Dan Orlovsky of ESPN being like, "What just happened?" And like so many people just being like, "What did I just watch? What's going on?" People who don't know wrestling, and so people are like freaking out, not realizing that was an angle that they're doing with the WYATT 6, which is we're reaching some territories, not just with TNA and WWE working together and Noah and then and AEW's working with New Japan and CMLL and like and AAA and all those. So it's like we're having like weird umbrella companies with WWE and TNA, and now they're even spanning, because of their relationship with McAfee. Now they're even spanning into ESPN. And I mean, even though on McAfee's third hour just goes straight to the internet, it doesn't actually show on ESPN. That way they can curse and stuff. That's when it showed up. But still, they're still under the 4-letter brand. So, yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, Jeremy, yeah, basically that's what I was saying. Like the regular viewers, they were like interviewing either it
was a Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL. And when the lights went down, people like got the conspiracy theorists came out saying that it was like the CIA or somebody like trying to shut them up.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff. And I was like, yes, that's awesome.
I'm sure it will get clarification. Like McAfee will say, like something that looked like someone was trying to break in, and he assumes it was them or something like that. It's like, trying to scare him or something.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Dave? Thanks for joining.
Hey. Before we get to Clash of the Castle, yeah, we're kind of skipping SmackDown because really it was mostly like a go home show. It was setting up. Nothing really major happened. The only cool thing that's worth mentioning was they showed footage of Logan Paul competing in the Tetris tournament, and then going back to his place in Puerto Rico, and who's there waiting for him in his pool? L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Boy, was he pissed.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, bro, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Oh, I've been waiting here the whole time, man. What are you talking about?
I've been waiting for you all day. Where you been?
Where you been? He kind of joined in. We thought it was going to be, you know, a crazy, like he's going to, you know, do typical, like storm the house and beat everybody up thing. No, it was total opposite. He was just chilling there, just trolling the crap out of Logan on that. So,
yeah,
Dave, just to kind of touch on these couple things. I mean, if there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to these type of things.
I don't think Conrad Thompson of all people would mention that without listening to something.
Not with Conrad. Conrad would have not mentioned it if he didn't think something was doing. Yeah, I'm hoping WYATT shows up on SmackDown for sure.
That would be very interesting.
On that, and that's your prediction. Yes, I mean if they're showing up and kind of doing the stuff with McAfee show. It's going to be.
I mean, CM Punk is going to show up here on SmackDown in Chicago just because it's Chicago. I mean, if he wants to give an update about his if he's been cleared or not.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like there have been all the QR codes have been over every show except for maybe NXT. I don't think they did. I don't know.
Yeah, they appeared on both shows on
right.
On Raw
so
and SmackDown.
And they're not drafted to anywhere. They're not signed to anywhere. So that means they don't belong anywhere. They just happen to debut on Raw. But they haven't, there's no place where they've actually done because they never existed until now, quote unquote, for that. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see, especially after that.
So, as far as like what's going to happen on tomorrow's SmackDown, we got 2 men's Money in the Bank qualifying matches on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. None for the women. This is the only 2 that are announced. They're both for the men.
Okay.
Triple threat matches just like they did on Raw. Randy Orton versus Mello versus Tama Tonga. I'm saying Mello's going to win that because Orton and Tama are going to be so focused on trying to destroy each other. I think Mello will steal it because I want him in Money in the Bank. So I think he's going to sneak a win because he's wedged in between this whole Bayface or Bloodline stuff going on. And the other one is interesting. Andrade versus Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller.
That is weird. I would think Kevin Owens, but with the Bloodline stuff not ending, but it's Kevin Owens.
I think Andrade is more likely.
I think we're going to have a triple threat at Money in the Bank with Owens, Orton, and versus.
Yeah, we'll get to that after we talk about what happened at Clash. But yeah, I'm feeling the 6-man is on the horizon.
Yeah, so at that point, maybe Andrade would be great. He needs to push.
There's that both Logan Paul and LA Knight are going to have a confrontation. CM Punk's going to be there, so it's going to be quite the. Sounds like a lot of interesting stuff's going to happen on SmackDown tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I hope Carmelo gets it because he needs.
Yeah, no, I want him
after he got to rise like the Phoenix because he got burnt down by LA Knight.
Yeah, like, LA Knight smoked him more than once. It's like he needs to get in the Money in the Bank match and shine and be able to recover at this point.
For sure. All right. If anything else that you all have on your mind there in the chat and everything, thank you all so much for joining us. Put it in the chat of anything that you have opinions or anything. We always like to keep the discussion going, and you are part of it. So as you all are watching here, if you have anything you want to say or anything like that, bring it up in the chat, and we can keep this. And you all just part of the show as much as us 2 crazy people to see in front of you. But we're going to go to Justin in the past to talk about the Clash of the Castle that happened over in Scotland.
All right, here's a recap of what happened at WWE's Clash in the Castle PLE event, live from Scotland. Show opened with a bang as Cody Rhodes defended the WWE Undisputed Championship against AJ Styles in an I Quit match. This was awesome stuff. Lots of great spots. Beat the hell out of each other. There was some blood as well. Finish came when Cody handcuffed AJ to the ropes. Proceeded to just beat the hell out of him with a chair. Refused to quit. So Cody went to get the steel stabs to bash his brains in. And that was enough for AJ to say, I quit. Give Cody the win and retain the title. But after the match, as he was going up the aisle, Solo Sikoa appeared, stared down Cody, and distracted him so that the Gorilla's Destiny could jump him, and it was a 3-on-1 bloodline beatdown until Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came out to make the save. Then we had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match in a triple threat as Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending against the teams of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, and the Unholy Union, Scotland's own Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Not the best match of the show. There's a couple botches, unfortunately. Either due to ropes or some other stuff going on. Bianca even missed like a 450 a little bit. But shocking finish where after hitting a 450 knees, Jay hit a wheelbarrow DDT, and Isla Dawn basically stole the pin, and her and Alba Fire are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. In a shocking upset. Crowd popped for it. Nice moment for the two of them. Then we had the Intercontinental Championship match as Sami Zayn defending against Chad Gable. More good stuff from these guys. Maxine got hurt inadvertently by Chad Gable. Chad wanted Otis to help him cheat to win, but Otis chose not to, and instead took Maxine and carried to the back, leaving Chad all by himself. And that allowed Sami to hit him with a Luva kick to pin him and retain the championship. Then we had the WWE Women's Championship match as Bayley defended against Scotland's own Piper Niven. Good reaction from the fans for that. Good match. Lots of some good stuff here. In the end, Bayley was able to hit Piper Niven with a crucifix driver to put her down long enough for the pin to retain the championship. And then we got to the main event. WWE World Heavyweight Championship match as Damian Priest defended against hometown boy Drew McIntyre. Fantastic match. Lots of near falls. Then things went haywire when the ref was bumped and knocked off the apron to the outside of the ring. McIntyre hit the Claymore. No ref to count. All of a sudden, a referee ran down to start the count, but then stopped it too. And the camera turned around to reveal that the referee was none other than CM Punk. Yes, the best in the world lived up to his promise. He showed up in Scotland and screwed Drew McIntyre once again. McIntyre lost it, went after Punk. Punk kicked him in the balls, left the ring, and that allowed Damian Priest to recover, hit the South of Heaven choke slam, and the original referee recovered to count 1, 2, 3, and Damian Priest retained the championship thanks to an assist from CM Punk. And sadly, once again, Drew McIntyre is screwed by CM Punk in major fashion to close out a show. This show, it was quite a good show. We'll go into that detail, but that's all that happened at WWE's Clash in the Castle.
Honestly, dude, what was up with the ropes?
Yeah, no, it's like some people have been talking about that ever since the show.
Because at first, it's like, oh, Jade botched again, and then you watch the rest of the show. The ref said something to AJ, something about the ropes.
Yeah,
wasn't it AJ? He you can see he's motioned something about the ropes.
Yeah, they may have
Damian Priest almost lost his foot.
The tightness may not have been correct. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously the women's tag match was the weakest of the show, but the other, I mean, that Piper Niven Bayley, dang, they really highlighted Piper very well.
Yeah, no, she got to look really good, even though that she was going to lose. She got a good reaction from the crowd. Plus, I liked at the end that it's like they gave each other like a little nod of respect. It's like so. So I think that it was good. And hopefully this is the last time that Piper gets a.
I don't think it will. I think that she showed that she belongs in those type of matches. And Chelsea Green is still just
Chelsea Green's hilarious.
Chelsea Green's just great. Chelseado Green, or is that what her name was when she came out with the mask? She's like, she goes, no, it's not Chelsea, it's Chelseado or Chelsea or whatever it was.
I think Wade Barrett said that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Also, I forgot to mention, I love the fact that they added Wade Barrett to the commentary team with Cole and Graves. I thought that was. They usually don't do like 3-mans on pay-per-views that much anymore, but I think it was appropriate for Clash Castle because it's in the UK.
Yeah,
that's where Wade's from, and he had some good stuff to go with Cole and Graves. I love Wade Barrett.
Right. And he was making like some historical jokes about UK owning Scotland or like the all like England owning Scotland and all that crazy stuff. So we'll start from the jump. With that, I'm surprised how long they gave AJ and Cody, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was almost half an hour.
Right. Oh, they really and we were saying like, why would you open it up with your main title? But if they're giving them 30 minutes, I'm guessing might as well. But typically, the first match, you always want to get the crowd revved up and start with the bang. You typically don't let it go for 30 minutes.
No, but they were into it.
Yeah, it's AJ and Cody. Like,
no, there was some great spots. The heat was there. Great stuff with Mrs. Rhodes slapping the heck out of AJ.
that was hilarious because you could tell, like, at first Mama Rhodes was like, yeah, slap him, and then she finally hit him with that second time, and she really felt like she's like, oh, this is fun, and she went to slap him.
Yeah.
With that, and then did you think him quitting the way he did was kind of lame?
No, I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought it worked because it's like he's coming at him with the freaking steel steps.
He did anyway.
Well, if you look
because he looked at his mom, he's like, "Should I do it?" She goes, "Yeah."
He asked his mom if it's okay and she said yes, and that's why he hit it anyway.
Right. And then I liked how that was cool that they teased the Solo and stuff at the end. I did like that.
No, that was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it. It's like he's celebrating the ramp, and all of a sudden Solo walks out. I'm like, uh-oh.
and I'm liking the I know it's a slow burn, and I'm trying to see the positive in it. But I mean, that little bit of Solo just sitting there, just what's up? Like that typically is not Solo. Like he's always got, but he had that. He wasn't like the like the guy sitting there just waiting for someone to tell him to go.
He's right, like, we haven't forgotten about you, dude.
Yeah,
it's like, and so and then makes perfect sense that KO and Orton came out because they're it's not just that they're they've been feuding with the Bloodline, but they're both really close with Cody, so.
Right, and then
of course they would be out there to help Cody.
And KO's looking at that title.
No, it was Orton who's looking at the title.
I mean, sorry, Orton. Thank you. Orton was looking at that title. I mean, the thing is like, that's what people keep predicting for SummerSlam. That's been out there for a while. That it's Cody Roman.
It's a possibility.
But Cody Orton, and I'm like, but Orton just came back. I like what they're doing with his.
Yeah, I need for him to just turn him heel just to do that. And it's like. So
and then you don't turn Cody because he's your top baby face, and he still just got the title. So it's like, what do you? Is it more of like just they're both kind of fake? I mean, they did basically a heel versus heel in against McIntyre and Damian Priest technically.
Yeah, but of course, Drew McIntyre being the homeboy, he was going to get
right.
He was going to get treated like the baby face.
Yeah, and he acted like a baby face. This basically the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
They could do face versus face and make it work, but we'll see. It's like there's still a lot of time. Well, I think we'll get a clear picture after Money in the Bank.
Yeah, because we both think that it's going to be a triple threat between RKO.
Yeah,
and Cody
I think they'll probably set that up on tomorrow on SmackDown. It'll be Cody, Randy, and KO against the Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah. And shout out to Wrestle Talk. Ollie Davis is trying to make it the new blood again. He's trying to make it right. And I'm like, yes, Ollie. Yes.
Very apropos with Vice doing the, Who Killed WCW series right now. Series.
Yeah, and shout out to No Holds Barred over at the Fence Talk Network. They're doing a really good review of it. So
yes, I checked out their latest review, episode 2, over the weekend. I was in the chat. Wanted to throw out some love and support to those guys over there.
Yeah, always a good time there. But yeah, no, that was that. I mean, they kicked off the show, the Styles, and I'm surprised the Good Brothers didn't show up.
That was the thing I was that surprised me most was that because I quit there. It's like it's no DQ, so I was surprised the Good Brothers didn't get involved.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I mean, on SmackDown he told
like their priority is the shenanigans they're up to on NXT and helping out Mia.
Yeah, it's just very, again, it kind of goes back to my stern monologue about
that. That's a little confusing too. More on that when we get to NXT.
Yeah, because remember what I talked about last week about like it's not consistent between NXT and how they're doing certain people on the main roster, and it just keeps going that way.
Yeah, I'll say is like my friend James asked, he's like, are the Good Brothers supposed to be tweeters? Because it's like he goes, they're healing it up with AJ, but they're being all babyface buddy with Mia on NXT. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, yeah, exactly, dude. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Dude, you had to have known when Fire and Dawn won, your boy wasn't gonna win.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as they had to give of all the Scottish wrestlers that were competing on the show, one of them had to win it in one of the matches. Yeah. There's no way that Millie was going to lose the title to Piper Niven, as much as I like Piper, because she's got a date with Nia Jax at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a big time match. And as soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, CM Punk's definitely screwing McIntyre on the title tonight.
Right. Great moment though for Fire and Dawn.
Yeah. Bittersweet for Alba Fire. Did not know this until they after the show. Apparently, her parents were visiting her in Florida earlier that week, and just a couple of days before Clash, they got hit by a car crossing the street, and her mom didn't make it. So it's like she lost her mom just a few days before this happened, before the pay-per-view. So it's like, that's rough, but I'm really glad that they gave them their moment. And it's like, I've always liked the two of them, especially Alba Fire. It's like, well, I preferred it when she was going by Kaylee Ray when she was on NXT UK. Longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion. She held it for almost 2 years. She's a really good wrestler. So it was a nice moment. I know some people are surprised that they took the belts off Bianca and Jade so quickly, but if this is to give them a good run and more than just like a feel-good moment, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, because I basically on our prediction last week, I said there's a reason they made it a triple threat. Is so you can get the titles off of Jade and Bianca without them taking the pin.
It's like if anyone was going to win their match, it was most likely them. But I still wasn't sure because they seem to be pushing the Bianca Jade super team so much, but.
And they booked Fire and Dawn terribly. Like they had them basically jobbed.
Yeah, they jobbed to Shayna and Zoe Stark on Raw last week.
So I'm like, that's why we were confused.
I guess they did that on purpose to throw people off the scent.
Sure, because I mean, a triple threat, you basically those type of things can happen where everybody else gets injured, then you come in there and get the last shot.
They gave them their moment and also protected Bianca Jade because they took advantage of the triple threat rules. They pinned Shayna to win the titles. They didn't pay Bianca or Jade.
Right. So where do you think Bianca and Jade go from here?
I had no idea. It's like they're both on SmackDown, so I guess we'll see what happens on SmackDown. See what they're going to try to do to me. And try to get. They're probably going to try to get a rematch. We'll see what happens.
Congratulations.
Because it's going to be like we didn't. It's like it was triple threat. We neither of us got pinned and we lost our titles. It was like we should get a rematch. Yeah. So we'll see.
I mean, we'll get to Raw because basically, congratulations, Shayna. You've officially become the female Dolph Ziggler, where you'll be in a bunch of big matches, but you're going to lose, but you're going to make everyone look good. It's just kind of unfortunate that's where Shayna is. She's kind of stuck.
Now, Sammy versus Chad was awesome as expected.
Yeah.
Good storyline advancement with Otis and them finally slowly getting to the point that we saw on Monday where it's like enough was enough. Good stuff there. Now, okay, the main event. I know that there are a lot of people there. I understand. It's like my heart wanted him to win, but my head knew that it wasn't going to happen because of CM Punk. And plus, here's the other thing. I know people wanted him to win for the obvious reasons, especially because, he lost to Roman at the first Clash of the Castle by Screwjob when Solo Sikoa made his debut and joined the Bloodline. But you got to think about long term. It's like JD from New York talks about long term booking all the time, and he's correct. And just think about this. Gunther is waiting at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of him winning this match are highly likely, like in the 90% range, or even closer to 100%.
I put it like a 95.
Yeah, unless they do something screwy and they save it for Bash in Berlin. I think SummerSlam is probably more likely, but still, Gunther is waiting. He's going to win the World Championship. It's going to happen. I would not want Drew McIntyre to win the title just to job it 2 months later to Gunther.
Plus, CM Punk ensures a bigger draw than Gunther versus Damian Priest. And
plus, him and CM Punk is the primary feud, and that feud does not need the title. This feud is blood feud level now, which is appropriate because the word is they're going to bring back Bad Blood in the fall, which I'm like, hell yes, because not only is that name appropriate for where this feud is at, but give me McIntyre and CM Punk inside Hell in the Cell for the block.
As far as a non-title, as far as a non-title feud, I haven't remembered a feud that felt like such a money draw that had no implications to it since Rock Hogan won.
Yeah, no, this feud is one of the best feuds going in wrestling right now, and it's not even about a title.
Yeah,
it is personal as you can get. These guys do not like each other at this point. CM Punk has said that he's going to not let Drew win the World Heavyweight Championship if he can make it happen. I have to give credit. Bravo on the camera work.
I was going to bring that up
to delay the reveal that it was CM Punk was was in that referee shirt, because first they showed the far angle, far away from the aisleway, so you saw somebody running down, and Cole's like, "Oh, here comes the referee!" And then they have the camera. The guy at the ringside is right behind him, so you can't see CM Punk's face as he slides in the ring. He does the count, but then just before he stops, you hear the crowd react, going, "Oh!" Because at that point, the ones around ringside who are close enough can be able to tell it's CM Punk. And then they switch to the other camera guy who's on the other side of the ring to show it's CM Punk going.
Right. And apparently, like the 2 or whatever is kind of like a bird.
I thought it was just that he was just like it was only
but apparently this is also I was watching some.
Apparently that's also some kind of like FU slang insult in over in England or Scotland. Yeah. So I think it served 2 purposes.
Yeah.
But no, it was fantastic. And also, did you see the video that showed him tricking Jessica Carr into giving him a referee shirt so he could do that?
Yeah. Because that was the one thing too, is like a couple of things about the CM Punk. For one, I was surprised it took me like 1.5 of the count to realize, oh, those are Nikes. Oh, that's CM Punk.
He was.
Yeah. And plus I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is because CM Punk's already done the up from under the ring, holding his leg before he did the Claymore to have him lose to Jay. So he can't really do that again.
I was expecting him to pop through the crowd at the right moment. Like as soon as the ref was bumped, I was like, and here comes CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Did not, but the reveal of him coming out dressed as a referee was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
and
the way they shot
all the camera work and everything they did to reveal that was gold.
Oh my god, this just stuff reminds me of just how bad Kevin Dunn was sometimes compared to how it's shot.
This is why so many of us rejoiced when Kevin Dunn retired and left. We're like, yes, thank you God, because if he was around, we would not get these kind of awesome camera angles we're getting now, like that. What just it happened at Clash of the Castle. Kevin Dunn would have never done something that awesome.
Because they didn't stay trying to make stuff like
they're
Kevin
being
Dunn,
innovative right now, like the whole long walking shots backstage.
Mhm.
It's like the drone shot that of Logan Paul doing the frog splash at King and Queen of the Ring on Cody through the table.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff would have happened if Kevin Dunn was still around.
That oneer of what was it, Ricochet and JD McDonough, and like they panned and they kept the oneer, and then they were able to time it just correctly on the post, which is like, just not only is that good production, but that's also good on the wrestlers of getting to that spot as soon as the camera gets there. That's very tough to do, and it was shot and performed.
So anyway,
incredibly.
So Priest, there's no point in giving Priest the title now for such a short period of time. And besides, him versus Gunther is right now is technically heel versus heel, and plus, that's not going to happen. He's not going to be wrestling Gunther at SummerSlam. It's going to be Punk. Punk is going to be ready to go by SummerSlam. If he hasn't been cleared to wrestle this week, they said the word is that it's like he's going to be ready. It's like he's at the point where it's guaranteed he's going to be ready by SummerSlam. So that's going to be one of the big matches for SummerSlam is Punk versus Drew 1-on-1 finally. And so it left. Okay, so Priest still has the title. So he's also still heel, technically. He's starting to lean. The babyface turn is slowly happening. Because I'm like, well, what's going to happen with Gunther? But then we got a wrinkle that happened on Raw with who Damian is going to be facing for the world title at Money in the Bank that nobody saw coming.
No, that's a lot of stuff going on.
There was booze, but you could also see there was still a lot of love for CM Punk, even though he screwed McIntyre in Scotland.
Yeah, when he was giving high fives and stuff, went back to CM Punk, goes, I thought you'd kill me right now. Like you heard him like,
he was getting loved by the fans at ringside after he was done. He's like, I thought you guys were gonna jump me.
Right, I thought you were gonna jump me. And then afterwards, like all the stuff, it's crazy how much like the stories don't stop because the WWE is finally utilizing the internet correctly. So the stories don't stop. I mean, with the Joe Hendry stuff after, just behind the scenes. With this, where you saw like after Raw went off. I mean, not Raw for Raw, but after Clash of the Castle, and like McIntyre is like choking Corey Graves and then going up to Wade Barrett. He's like, "What the crap?" And Barrett afterwards was like, "I still think CM Punk should be fired."
Wade Barrett was on Drew McIntyre's defense. He was calling for CM Punk's head to be fired.
Right. And so it's just like those little bitty things of just keeping.
Oh yeah, that video where McIntyre was like just going nuts,
right?
Yelling and screaming at Corey Cole and Wade Barrett about what happened, saying how it was bullshit, and was all super pissed off, which led to what happened on Raw, which we'll get to in a moment.
Right.
That was all well done. Then of course Punk at the press conference, pulling out the treats.
I know. I was getting ready to say that. I was like, so many people are like, "Uh-oh, Punk's got treats. Wonder what he's gonna say." And he did kind of be like, with that one guy that was like, "Do you think your first match against Drew should be a Hell in a Cell?" And he goes, "What's your name, man?" And he was like, "All right, with all due respect, I'm glad you're not a booker." He's like, stick to the fan forums.
No. The Hell in a Cell match should be the final match of the feud.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like he was just telling the guy, he was like, with all due respect, I'm glad you're not a booker, because that's a shit way to do it.
Because Hell in a Cell is the perfect match for this feud, and it's like this feud. It's like how nasty things were between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, which led to the first Hell in a Cell match, where Undertaker was like, I was out to kill Shawn for screwing him out of the title at SummerSlam. It's like, it's very similar. It's like, it's all about someone screwing someone out of a title. This is exactly what's happened here, but now it's happened more than once with Punk and Drew McIntyre. So
yeah. I mean, I just like how every one of these blood feuds ends with blood, because you think MJF and CM Punk, it ended with that dog collar stuff. Like, it was just like, geez.
Oh, and with Triple H in charge right now, number one, if they're gonna do if they're gonna have the blood with them in a cell match, number one, bring back the OG cell.
Let's not make it sure. Don't be zip tied though. Let me say that.
No,
OG
yeah.
cell. Don't be zip tied.
Don't do zip ties.
Don't do zip ties.
With Undertaker Mankind. Don't
Right.
do zip ties.
Don't do zip ties.
Bring back the OG version of the cell, and let there be blood.
Yes. Let there be blood. But overall, I mean,
pretty good. Clash was a very good show.
The one thing let me before we get to Raw.
Yeah.
Do you think with the Otis thing, it should have happened on this show instead of Raw?
I was surprised it didn't. I thought it was going to happen at Clash.
Right. Like, if you're gonna make the turn, you don't do it on the random Raw afterwards. And I still think that was kind of a petty turn.
I think that they held off because they wanted to make sure people, like, you're going to want to tune into Raw and see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. But that was, it's so weird that the story you care about doesn't and it's a match.
Doesn't involve the IC title.
Doesn't really involve the IC title, and Sami Zayn was just kind of there. It was weird.
Yeah, it looks like Sami and Chad are done for now because Sami's got other
he's got a lot bigger.
He's got new bigger problems.
He's got a bigger dog barking up history.
Yeah.
On that, but no. Also, shout out Scotland.
Great crowd.
If you thought Cody Rhodes wasn't over, hey guys, he's over.
They brought up the soccer chant like France. It's like Cody Rhodes,
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, and then they brought out. Oh, shout out to also with the production. They brought out the meter of how loud the crowd was.
Yeah, the decibel meter.
The decibel meter. So like that, it's just WWE. Triple H has got him cooking.
Yep.
He's got him cooking that, and that I'm not just. And he should be him and Sean. That's the new DX logo.
Sean are cooking.
The chef's hat. They're cooking.
They're cooking.
They're cooking. All right. Well, so because Raw, we had probably one of the best Raws and one of the best Dynamites we've had. So, and one of the best and one of the most memorable NXTs. So some of these are going to be recaps are going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And the StreamYard that we use doesn't have that much. But you know what? The show will go on, and we can still make it happen.
Yeah.
So here is Justin from the past going over a very, very memorable Raw.
Yeah. All right. Here's a recap of what happened on Monday Night Raw, the fallout from Clash of the Castle. Show opened with a big surprise, one of many. The first was Seth freaking Rollins was back. Yes, Seth is back from injury. Said that he is returned and ready to return to action. This brought out Damian Priest because Seth mentioned that he was looking to get back in the title picture, probably in Money in the Bank. They went back and forth with respect, and Damian Priest offered Seth Rollins a title shot against him for the World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank, and Rollins accepted. Then we had Braun Strowman take on Chad Gable, which was set up by Adam Pearce, saying that Chad needed to try to earn his way back toward getting another Intercontinental title shot. He lost to Strowman with a power slam. After the match, he once again berated the members of Alpha Academy, especially Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree. He went to abuse Tozawa. Maxine tried to stop him, and he slapped and knocked down Tozawa, and that was more than enough for Otis. He had enough. He shoved Chad down, ripped off the Alpha Academy shirt, big pop. Then he took Tozawa and Maxine and left Chad behind the ring. Meanwhile, in the clubhouse, Damian Priest confronted Finn Balor about taking Liv Morgan's room key last week and saying everything's good, and that said not to worry if he gets into Money in the Bank and wins. He's got Damian's back. Then we had Io Sky taking on Kiana James and Zelina Vega in a triple threat. See who would qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Good stuff here. Liv Morgan came out wearing Dominic Mysterio's vest that he was looking for earlier. That distracted Zelina Vega. got taken out by Io, and then Io hit the moonsault on Kiana James to win the match and go back into Money in the Bank for a second year in a row. Sami Zayn came out to cut a promo saying that he was done with Chad Gable and he's looking to look on to the next challenge. Braun Breaker came out and said that he wants a shot at Sami in the Intercontinental. Sheamus came out saying that he also wanted it and was willing to fight Braun over it. And Sami said, "Oh, he'll go attack Dan Pierce and let's see if they'll make a match for it," in which he did. Then we had Carlito taking on Dragon Lee. Carlito picked up the victory thanks to some shenanigans by JD McDonough. They recapped what happened at Clash of the Castle with CM Punk borrowing a referee shirt from Jessica Carr to go screw Drew McIntyre out of winning the World Championship for Damian Priest. Chad Gable braided Alpha Academy in the back, but Otis and them were packing, said that they were leaving, that they're done. And Chad told them that he's done with them. They're all expelled. He's going to win Money in the Bank all by himself. Drew McIntyre came out to talk to them. Fans chanted CM Punk. He said CM Punk's name a few times and said that he can't deal with this anymore and that he quits, and then walked off. Adam Pearce and Triple H in the back tried to talk sense to them. He said no, he's leaving. And Adam Pearce begged him to listen to reason. Then we had Damage Control in the form of Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane taking on Chance, Kate, and Carter. Not a long match. Lyra Valkyria came out to support the baby faces. And that helped provide a distraction that allowed Katana and Kate Carter to pick up the victory of Damage Control. Io Sky in the back was not happy, saying that something needs to change with Damage Control or she's going to do the changing herself. They had Braun Breaker taking on Sheamus with a potential Intercontinental Championship shot on the line. Good match between these two, but Louis Kaiser came out to sneak attack Sheamus. The referee saw it, and Sheamus won by disqualification. The two got in the brawl. Louis tried to go hurt Sheamus again, but Braun Breaker decided to spear the hell out of Louis Kaiser and exchange words with Sami Zayn at ringside. Dominic Mysterio went to get his vest back from Liv Morgan, tried to do some. David Priest told her to leave him alone. She says, well, Dominic seems to really want her, and before sauntering off. Karrion Kross challenged Kofi Kingston to a one-on-one match next week, and Kofi accepted in a responding promo. Then we had the main event, men's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Jey Uso taking on Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat. Good stuff. In the end, after hitting a coup de grace attempt, Jey was able to counter and then hit Finn Balor with the diving splash to win the match and qualify for Money in the Bank. But just as he started to celebrate, all of a sudden all the lights went out in the arena. A silhouetted door appeared with lots of ghost figures crawling through it. Figure reached out for a lantern, most likely Nikki Cross. The camera went into the back and revealed that everyone had been attacked in the gorilla position and had been laid out. Eric Roman dressed up like Rabble Rabble with a hammer that said help. There was blood spatter on the wall. Both Chad Gable and Braun Strowman were laid out. Chad was shown to be bleeding from the temple, knocked him completely unconscious, looked like he was dead. Uncle Howdy was standing just behind him as he walked toward the camera through the gorilla position. He and the rest of the new WYATT group stood at the entranceway. Uncle Howdy said that we're here and blew out the lantern to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's very memorable episode of Monday Night Raw.
Damn, dude. What an episode. Just when you thought it was done, it kept going.
Yeah, it's like It's like when the lights went, I was like, they're coming for Jay, but no, they didn't attack Jay. They attacked the people in gorilla position and Jay included and laid them out.
Right. And then like that wasn't Braun, by the way.
Oh, wasn't? Yeah, you're right.
No, I mean obviously because they replaced Chad, but Braun's still in the match.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
But that was just some because they that was like the first time that, and it was cool. Here's how subtle that it didn't notice until someone pointed it out. When Drew McIntyre came out and did the quit thing, which was awesome, the way he just came out and basically did the Batista like I quit and then just stormed off. He went through and they did the one shot through exactly how they showed the WYATT. Did you notice that? Like,
oh yeah.
And he basically is like sitting there, he's like Triple H trying to stop him. He's like, no, I'm done. And then Adam's like, I'll talk to him. And they followed him through that until that ramp where Uncle Howdy was standing. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Someone pointed out, I was like, damn, I didn't even catch that. It was very interesting the way they did that. I thought it was like really cool. It was an all right debut. Okay, shut up, GIF. You know it was great.
GIF was like, it's okay. That's what I'm saying on Discord. He thinks it was all right. It didn't want him.
Okay, so I will give him that. A lot of times, it's not that type of thing is not for everybody.
No, I thought it was like, this is good. I thought it was a very effective way to debut them. It was spooky, but not in a supernatural way. It was just like, oh Jesus, what the heck just happened? What did they do?
It's a mix between the Wyatt original family, the Bayou cult leader, stuff.
As long as they stay away from supernatural shit, it's gonna work better.
Well, they said that they want it to be more based in reality, than the spooky stuff. Because here's the hardest thing:
show them to be batshit crazy people.
Right, just batshit crazy people. Because here's the hardest thing to do with this type of gimmick: Undertaker and Kane were an anomaly. The fact that you could book them like you booked them. And now, obviously, Undertaker went to be an American Badass and stuff like that, and then Kane kind of did a whole other, like, went through different iterations of it. But still, you're talking about a guy that can conjure fire and a guy that can, like, turn off the lights and just show up out of nowhere.
He had Alexa Bliss, bleeding black goo, and fireballs like, in Randy's face. It's like, no.
It's just like, no. And, like, the Sister Abigail stuff with the worms on the canvas, and it's just like...
The time of, like, Undertaker doing, like, weird black magic shit back in the day, that's over and done with. That's not what fans are into anymore. It's like they're into more of the realistic aspect of wrestling, not into the weird shit.
Yes. And I think it was just enough. Bo shouldn't have said a word. Yeah, it just
I thought it was just fine just saying we're here. That's all you needed to say.
Yeah. And the way he said we're here is not the we're here. It's the we're here. It kind of came off like that to me. So I guess maybe that's why. But it's the thing is, we know what Nikki can do. We know what Joe Gacy, if you keep up in NXT, what he can do. We really don't know a whole lot with Dexter Lumis with his newest run that he's had. You really don't know too much.
He hasn't been on TV since last year, so it's like it's been a long time since
it all comes down to Bo.
Yeah.
And can Bo step up to the plate and do it?
And he, from what I've seen, even though I wasn't watching at the time, watched a lot of his older stuff, he's really good on the mic. If they let him sell this, I think it has a potential to work well. It's
maybe we don't know. We just saw them.
Well,
but he makes a good point.
This is just the beginning, so it's like
he makes a good point.
Exactly. It's like people wonder, like, is Chad Gable dead?
I mean, that one producer with the dreads and the tie, like, he died. Like, I mean,
of course, they're not going to say that they killed anybody. Of course,
right, and just the way the social media reacted, like all like the people being like, you know, we felt something was wrong, or like Jey Uso just also, like, I ain't messing with it. They can have the Fireflies back.
Very interesting that they chose to one of their first victims is a heel.
Yeah. So, because we really don't, we would think they would be
after baby faces.
We would think they would be a heel faction, but you don't know.
Maybe they are heel, but they don't care who gets in their way. It doesn't matter if you're babyface or heel; they will come after you.
Yeah, if they feel like you're doing wrong, because like you got to think, is they're a family, right?
Yeah, because people pointed out that there were subtle messages that they were coming for Chad that were in the QR codes that like one of them specifically said, "You stop saying thank you."
Right. Yeah, he did. He stopped saying thank you and had CG in it. And then someone too was just like, when they were
So
saying
they were foreshadowing they were going to attack Chad Gable.
right. And then they also kind of pointed out of like you can kind of sit there and say, why would they attack Chad Gable? And it's like, well, they're a family, right? And he saw the way that he was treating his
family.
Right.
It makes sense. They were offended by the way he was treating his family. And now he's gonna pay the price.
Right. But I loved the reveal of Howdy and where he was a silhouette.
Yeah.
With his arms crossed, and like he immediately, of course, the crowd popped. Which Corpus Christi apparently sucks as a crowd. They were on it this episode. But the way his silhouette was, and the way he walked, and just his presence, he had an aura about him.
Yeah.
Maybe his way was shot, but he had more of an aura. And the way his mask is now, with his beard showing, and not just the full mask, the way he like the masks were awesome. Of course, I was waiting for them to play "Wait and Bleed" by Slipknot because it kind of looked like Slipknot 2.0 with the way the masks were. But I thought the masks were really good, and. But it's just a way of like, how do you book this type of gimmick? It's tough. It's very, very tough to do.
Yep.
Because like Judgment Day did the spooky stuff, and then as soon as Triple H finally got the pencil, they became just another group.
No, it's like Vince wanted them to be full spooky, and Edge and them were like, no, that's not the point of this.
No. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I think they should have went after Judgment Day.
They may still go after
Judgment Day.
I think the message going after Chad is that like nobody. I think the message, especially not just attacking. They didn't just attack a wrestler; they also attacked the people working the back. So I think it was a clear message that nobody's safe if they decide to target you.
Why even have a final testament now? What do you mean by that?
I think because. It's like these guys are more like scarier version of Final Testament, I guess is what.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Giff. I'm not. This is not even a slack. I keep forgetting that Final Testament's a thing that I totally forgot what you talked about. Even though that was a cool, I guess we can switch to that. That was the subtleties of Woods turning on Kofi. Is there, but yes, the gimmick does feel similar. Giff, I can understand.
I know people never thought it might happen, but it's like I think it's very possible that Karrion Kross is going to drive a permanent have these two break up in some fashion. So Drew McIntyre quitting. Yeah, if you think he's quit WWE, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you.
Right. No,
I mean,
he didn't quit. That was perfect. That was perfect. Drew didn't come out and do the "I was screwed by CM Punk" and all this other stuff. He was like, I can't take this anymore. So I'm done.
Especially with the fans chanting CM Punk's name.
Yeah.
I know some people were like, "Well, this would have worked a little bit better if they had it wasn't known that he had resigned." Like, it doesn't matter. You can still think he'd want to quit after what Punk's done to him. So, and plus he shut down his social media, which is another smart move to try to sell it. So the question is, how long is he going to be quit? Especially with Punk showing up on SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if I could totally see where Punk is like, I got great news. I'm in cleared. It's like, and then he starts, dissing McIntyre. And then just when he least expected, McIntyre shows up out of nowhere and just obliterates him.
Yeah. Yeah. But we were expecting certain debuts, but we weren't expecting Seth freaking Rollins.
No, that was a gigantic surprise. That word did not get out about that at all.
Yeah, I popped. That popped me. I popped.
No, I was surprised that I didn't think he'd be back for like another month or two.
No. But it makes sense. You got to think about it because he's going up against Damian. And the thing is after the McIntyre match, which Damian freaking worked his butt off for that match.
Thank God he didn't get hurt. I forgot to mention that scary spot where he got caught in the ropes. Jesus, yes. he could have gotten seriously injured.
Right, seriously injured. Thankfully, nothing happened with it. But they fought through it. He kept doing roundhouse kicks and stuff. We were just like, dang it, Damian, stop. But it's here's what they're doing. they are making Damian a legitimate champion. Or they're trying to build him as a legitimate champion. So when Gunther beats him at SummerSlam, it's him actually overcoming a legitimate champion and not just another person.
Or what if they have Seth take the title off of Damian and then have Seth versus Gunther, which would be fucking banger 5-level star match at SummerSlam, and then have Seth job to Gunther.
Maybe, but that's overbooking to me.
I agree. I know it's like I've seen some people float that out there. I think it's a little bit much.
I think it's much.
I feel it would be a disservice to Damian to not have him hold the title until Gunther mangles him at SummerSlam.
Because basically Seth,
and that's going to be the final. That's going to be the final nail in the straw of when him and Judgment Day are going to. Judgment Day's going to turn on it.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy. When he said it, we're here. It did sound very fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
No, it's like I love Kofi and Woods, but I think it's time for.
It's just not the same without Big E.
It's not the same.
It sucks because I love the New Day, but it's just.
Well, that's a good question. Is there going to be a screw job, or is Damien? I think it'd be better for Priest to win clean.
Priest needs to win clean.
Yeah, because Punk, he won because Punk screwed McIntyre again, so that was not a clean victory for Priest.
No,
he kind of needs a clean victory if he's going to go against Gunther at SummerSlam for the title.
I can't wait till a documentary later on down the road where we figure out what Damian Priest and McIntyre said to each other, because you could tell they were talking to each other at the end of the match. They were kind of exchanging words, because basically when Damian had his head down, and then you can see McIntyre on his back, and he was mouthing something, so they were saying something to each other, basically saying hell, we did it, because we other than the CM Punk screwing stuff, they put on a
banger match.
That was a banger of a match. So I mean, Damian, for people sitting there can't get behind Damian, he carried Bad Bunny and made an awesome match with that. But both times he's made evented pay-per-view, he's worked his butt off and showed that he can carry a match, or at least be a part of a really good.
Also, I forgot to say, it was a ballsy move of Triple H to have McIntyre lose Castle in a title match again. But like I said, it makes sense for the storyline. It's like him winning the title does not fit with where the storyline is going on right now.
There's more money in Punk and Drew McIntyre without a title being involved than it was for Drew McIntyre to go to Money in the Bank and then get screwed over. There's just no logical.
Yeah, because
where they're going.
Now he's quit, and then just when Punk least expected, Drew's going to ambush him, wreck him, and that's going to set up their match, their one-on-one match at SummerSlam. Finally, the first time this feud has been going on for months, for most of this year, and we're on the verge of finally having their first one-on-one match, because Punk is about ready to get back in the ring finally.
Yep. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. With that.
No, he's earned it. It's like even though it's only a matter of time before Gunther takes that title. I'm glad that they're not treating him like a transitional champion.
They're doing very well.
They're trying to book him strong as possible.
And they're doing that with their champions. It seems like they don't put, because Logan Paul's reign as U.S. champion has been the longest for a while.
It's the current longest title reign right now.
Right. So they don't. Since last year. Other than the women's tag championships, they typically let you get a decent run with the title, because not only are they trying to put prestige to the title, but they're also trying to make sure that the person gets
Logan Paul is the only title. The U.S. title is the only one that has not changed hands yet this year. Every other title since WrestleMania has changed hands.
No, Cody.
Yeah, no, I was sort of saying Cody won at WrestleMania. Roman lost to him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that's right. Okay, no, you're obviously what you're saying now. No, since Logan Paul won it at
That was like
Saudi
last. Yeah, it's like Saudi last year. It's like
I think he won it Saudi. With that, because we thought that Orton was gonna be throwing him, and the whole time we were like, it should have been LA Knight, but he had that AJ feud, which was really good. That really AJ match. But
it's very interesting. It's tempting to see Braun getting into the IC title picture. I think it's too soon for him to win the title yet. I think that's why they had Sheamus win this match by DQ to further him and Kaiser's feud. And Plus, Sheamus has made it clear it's like his last bucket list item before he titles is the Intercontinental title is the only title in WWE he has not held. It's like he wants to win that Intercontinental title to cap his Hall of Fame resume. So it's like
he don't have much left in the tank, unfortunately, with his neck injury that he had. So, but Kaiser.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay. I totally disagree. I think with the Chad stuff, he's had a lot. It's been very interesting. He's been a fighting champion. I will disagree with that. Where he goes from here is where things are going to get interesting. Now that because the Chad stuff is now in the rear, because Chad's got all kinds of problems right now. It's like Alpha Academy's finally left him, and he's been attacked by.
He's got a problem. He's dead.
He's not dead.
He's dead. They had
so it's only a matter of time before we get the new Alpha Academy with the Creed brothers.
Yeah. It's just the fact that I'll kind of counter with that. The reason I would say it was kind of dull is the fact that we cared more about what was going on between the Alpha Academy in an IC match than Sammy and the IC title. That's my counter argument with it. Is just like, I get it because Sammy dethroned Gunther. I think Braun is eventually going to win the Intercontinental title probably within the next couple months, but I wouldn't give it to him just yet. I'd have him still be in killer mode and lead to that. But Jesus, another great camera angle. That camera angle showing him running around the other side of the ring to spear a Kaiser before he could attack Sheamus. That was well done. Yes. Oh no! Did you see the Sonic rings where they did it?
Yeah,
the Sonic rings. But yeah, as soon as he took off, I'm like, oh my God. Also, shout out, dude. I like shout out to Kaiser and his singles.
Gift says you nailed it.
That's what I do, man. I'm just like Roxanne. I'm perfect. But no, thanks, Gift. But no,
the Judgment Day intrigue continues. With Damian confronting Finn about taking the hotel key, and then Liv stealing his vest. It's like,
and Carlito's still trying to fit in.
Yep, Braun Strowman is still providing them headaches.
Also, too, shout out to Rey Mysterio, man.
What the hell? It's amazing how good he still is in the ring.
That triple threat match was awesome, and I think it had a lot to do with Rey Mysterio.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. That eventually they're going to split. They're still allied. Yeah. Also, Braun laying his hands on Kaiser may get the attention of the ring general as well.
Yep. Oh, dude, Braun and Gunther. Oh my God. Also, speaking about Braun, what was up with the ropes this week too?
Yeah,
remember he slipped when he tried to do his.
Yeah, I'm wondering where this thing with damage control. It feels like it's like the group is on the verge of implosion.
Yeah,
it sounds like
damage control must change.
Yeah,
which I feel bad for EO. I mean, not EO, but for Dakota, because I feel
like women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Lyra's in that. I think Lyra's going to get in.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you put Lyra. I mean, you're booking Lyra correctly. Kiana, Cam James.
I felt bad for Kiana. She was just there to take the pin.
Yeah, I know she was, but she got on the match, man. She got on the show.
We might see some, with Zelina getting all pissed off and distracted by Liv. Wonder if that will lead to a match between the two of them.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing something with Zelina.
Yeah,
because she
finally got cleared. She was injured for the last couple of months. She finally got cleared recently.
Yeah, but I'm just glad that they're putting her with the.
I'm glad she's
stuff like that.
Getting, it would be nice to see her get back into the title picture again.
Yeah, and then I did like the whole Damien, like when he was taking the zipper and he was taking the jacket off, he's like, "Hey!" And it's like the dad catching the son doing something inappropriate.
Yeah, it was
I did like that, and he was just like, "Stay away from my boy." She was like,
Yeah.
So it's just it hasn't gotten to like the creepy like uncomfortable factor, because it's very tough. That's very tough to do, to where it's still entertaining and you're just liking the way that he's like she just won't leave me the hell alone type thing, rather than it just being like a creepy stalker-ish type thing. It's much more still kind of flirtatious, and and it's like the temptation more than stalker. Like we're still on that okay temptation, and it's a very fine line to do, especially in this day and age compared to what they used to do back in.
He's going to be crossing that line soon,
right? So, plus we just don't know what's going on with Finn and her with all that.
Yeah, no, there could be something else going on behind the scenes between them. We don't know.
Also, shout out to R-Truth. He put himself in the WYATT6. That was hilarious. If you didn't see that tweet that he did, that he goes, what's going on here, man? But also too, hey, internet people, I saw some reactions. They were like, it's a WYATT6, but there's only 5 of them. Well, two things. Either one, my theory is Bray makes 6, even though they spell it out SICK. They don't actually say 6 because that's what Bray's vision was.
I think that makes sense.
Was Bray makes 6. Now, there still has been, they shot it down and brought it up and shot it down and brought it up about 20 times, it feels like, over the internet, that Alexa Bliss will be the 6th member. But who knows? I think it's better with the 5 of them.
I think it is.
And Bray makes 6.
Yeah.
Because that's such a good
I like that better.
So I think they should keep just the 5 of them, and Bray makes 6.
Yeah.
Because he had the glove that said Bray on it. And you have Rowan, and I like how he has a mallet, even though that was part of Ramblin' Rabbit. They would beat him on the head with a mallet, but it's also a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge tribute to the Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. So it's the tributes and the vision, because at the end of,
at the same time, that's a tribute to both
yes.
the Bray and the old Wyatt family days, and to Brody.
And so they're giving great tributes. So, and plus it's the spirit of Bray, because that's what he lives through the Wyatts, right? Yeah. And then also too, like in the documentary where Bo was there with the mask maker, and he goes, we gotta, we want to pay tribute. We want to make sure his spirit lives on. Hence WYATT6, and there's 5 of them. So it's all intricacies, and I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the way.
And last thing, no surprise, Jay won the qualifier. He's so over it now. It makes sense to have him in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah. I don't know. People are sitting there like, well, he only has like 4 moves. Like, you said that about Cena, and he was the most over guy in the company. Who cares?
So the next qualifying match on Raw is, it's now Braun versus Bronson Reed versus Ilya. I'm thinking Ilya.
I'm thinking Ilya too. But who knows? They squashed Chad, and then they killed him. So who knows? Who really knows? Dude, this Raw was just packed. If we're forgetting something in the chat, please put it in there that we haven't brought up so we can talk about it.
There wasn't much clunkiness on the show.
No, the only really like botch-ish thing was just Braun slipping on the rope. But it happened. Those type of things happen, but they made it work, and all of that. I mean, it was a debut of the WYATT6. Seth came back. Just really good Raw. Just one of the best Raws top 5 Raw of the year, I think. For all that happened, and everything was just done really well. Speaking about a top 5 Raw, I think we got a top 5 Dynamite.
I think you're right.
Let's go with that.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. The show opened with a commercial-free match as Maxwell Jacob Freakin and MJF took on Roosh with the grudge match stuff that's been going on between them lately. Fantastic opener, lots of back-and-forth action, good near falls. In the end, MJF picked up the victory with a sheer drop brain buster. And then after the match, the Gates of Agony and Hachijiro, I hope I may butcher his name, appeared on the Tron, saying that he was going to face the Luchador at Forbidden Door. Renee was interviewing Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, and Mark Briscoe had their 8-man tag later in the show. Mark Briscoe, of course, once again caught an awesome off-the-wall promo. Fun stuff. Then we had a face-to-face between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland ahead of their AEW World Title match at Forbidden Door. Really good promo stuff between these two. Going back and forth. Swerve threatened to get personal by bringing up Ospreay's kids, and he told him to leave them out of it. And the two got each other's faces, jaw-jacking each other to close out this excellent promo face-off segment. During the segment, Ospreay simply mentioned that he doesn't need the help of Don Callis or the Don Callis family to beat Swerve at Forbidden Door. They showed the Callis family in the back. Trent Beretta was not happy about Will disrespecting Don and the family. Callis told him to calm down. Everything's going to be fine. While Kyle Fletcher had a very unhappy look on his face. So then we had the 8-man tag, Dante Martin, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy taking on Don Callis family members, Kinosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, teaming up with Roderick Strong and Zack Sabre Jr., Orange Cassidy's opponent at Forbidden Door. Totally chaotic match. In the end, Orange Cassidy was able to hit the orange punch on Roderick Strong to pick up the victory. After the match, Jack Perry ran out to attack Dante Martin at the top of the ramp. Mark Briscoe chased him off, but then got attacked by Takeshita from behind. Orange and Zack Sabre Jr. faced off once again in the ring, jaw-jacking to set up their match at the pay-per-view. Promo hype package about Mercedes Moné taking out Stephanie Vaquero at Forbidden Door. In the back, Rush was still pissed off about losing to MGF. And when Don Callis came up to him, said something in Spanish, and looks like Don Callis may be trying to recruit Rush to the family. Then we had a eliminator match. The Acclaim taking on the Young Bucks. If the Acclaim win, they'd get a title shot against the Bucks at a later date. Caster's rap was interrupted by his mic getting cut by Okada in the back. Very funny stuff. Good match between these two. Anthony Bowens actually blocked the EVB trigger at one point on his own. And shockingly, the Acclaimed picked up the victory to earn themselves a World Tag Team title shot against the Bucks. Samoa Joe and Hook were chatting. They went into a locker room looking for Mark Sterling and his boys. Instead, found a note challenging them along with Shibata to a 6-man tag on Collision. And Shibata's Robo Voice said that they're going to smash those bitches. Then we had the contract signing for the AEW Women's World Championship match between Toni Storm, the Timeless One, and Mina Shirakawa. Mariah May presided over it. Words were exchanged. And Mina finally said at the end, told Mariah that she had to make a choice between her or Timeless Toni, whose side she was on. Just as they were finished signing up the contracts, the Outcasts came out. Saraya says she's sick of them, but she brought some new backup with her. And then Anna Jay arrived to out of the crowd attack Mariah May. The heels went in and swarmed in to attack. Toni fought back, went to try to hip attack Saraya through the table, but missed and went through the table by herself. And the heels left happy while Mina comforted Mariah. Then we had the first match in the Women's Owen Cup tournament. Chris Statlander taking on Nyla Rose. Good match. Chris Statlander picked up victory with a tombstone pile driver. After the match, Stokely cut a promo calling out Will Nightingale, and Willow responded to the Trying, saying that she plans on beating Serena Deeb in her match and looks forward to facing Chris Statlander one-on-one finally in the next round when she does. Fire Party and the Learning Tree crew exchanged words in the back. Then we had Daniel Garcia taking on local talent Red Titus. Easily picked up the victory. After the match, Gates of Agony had Cheerio came out to attack him and Daddy Magic. MGF ran out to make the save due to them mouthing off of him earlier. Numbers game caught up to him. Then Will Ospreay made the save again. Him and MGF cleared the ring of the heels, and the two had quite the stare down to the delay of the crowd. That's going to be a hell of a match in the future. In the back, Brian Cage went after Will Ospreay for interfering in their business, challenging him to an international title match on Collision, and Ospreay accepted. Then we got to the main event, the first match in the Men's Owen Cup tournament. Claudio Castagnoli taking on Pac. Brian Danielson was on commentary. Good stuff between these two. Great finish where they're exchanging all kinds of near falls. In the end, Pac was able to pin Claudio with a crucifix, pick up the victory, move on to the next round. Claudio was not happy about it. Had to stare down with Danielson as he left the ringside disappointed. And so that's all that happened on this week's episode, AEW Dynamite.
I didn't realize that was a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? When you have like maybe 2 minutes of the learning tree, you have a good show.
Yeah. Instead of having almost the entire episode be focused on, like, oh dear God, that was
a couple weeks ago.
It was awful.
It was so bad. But yeah, I mean, the Swerve Ospreay.
That was fantastic.
We know Swerve. Like I put in our Discord, just because I never really listened to Ospreay's promo work. It's mostly been like, I'm the best there is, bruv, and then that's kind of like rinse and repeat. This was a very good back and forth.
No, I love
that hit row line.
Yes,
great.
That was a great zinger. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And him listing off all the people he's beaten. It's like, fantastic stuff between both guys. And a very interesting moment that is going to be very important when this time match comes. So it's like, I remember what happened last year when you at Forbidden Door when you faced Kenny Omega. Don Callis, your boy, helped you out in that match. You're going to need his help to beat me again. And he's like, I don't need Callis or the family help to beat you. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to screw him against Swerve, aren't they?
Do not be surprised if Don Callis screws Ospreay out of winning the title.
Yeah. I mean,
because of what he just did.
It's not time.
No, he's acting. No, and also, as soon as that was over, they cut to the back. They showed Don Callis and them reacting to what he was saying, and then after they were done talking, they cut back to them and started saying, "How dare he talk to you about?" It's like disrespecting you, and of course Callis like, "Hey, no, it's all right, it's cool, everything's gonna work out just fine." And then you saw the look on Fletcher's face.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Callis is gonna make him pay for that.
Yeah. Here's one thing. This is just the confusion that is AEW sometimes and how storylines.
Because that's the perfect way to set up a rematch. Because I know a lot of people wanted to see Ospreay win the title. It's too soon for him to win the title. Swerve has not held the title for very long. No. It's exactly like the same. It's the same logic that why Priest went over Drew. People really wanted Drew McIntyre to win in Scotland at Clash of Castle. Booking wise, it was not the right move. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. It's like Swerve needs to hold on to the title for a little bit longer. It's like you can't do it. It's like then you're completely. He's going to seem like a transitional champion. It's going
to seem like a transitional champion that's just overbooking.
Yeah,
because you just gave the international whatever the title is to Ospreay, and then you have him beat Swerve, and then MJF comes and beats you for both the titles. Like, no, that's don't do that.
No, it's setting up, pissing off Callis to the point where Callis is going to screw him over in the process is makes perfect sense, and it will completely justify him getting a rematch down the line. If not at Wembley, it's somewhere else. Most likely it'll be at Wembley because he's going to have some kind of big match at Wembley. It's guaranteed. Yes. Fantastic tease. Ospreay and MJF fans went nuts with seeing them stare down. That's a major money match feud in the future.
Yeah, because there's a lot of comments of that clip online, and so many people are like, "Don't even care what the rest of the card is. Just give me that match."
And also, it looks like Callis wants to recruit Roosh to join the family.
Dude, MJF is just so naturally amazing.
Yep, he's just it's amazing.
He's just like the chop, which is such a gimmicky.
That was a fantastic opening match. The opener was great between him and Bruce. It was
hey, Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr. is awesome. Period.
He's so good.
He is.
And then they're also hinting Claudio turning heel and like it just.
Oh yeah,
so many little
been hitting that for a while.
Subtle storytelling in AEW.
I think he's eventually going to turn on Danielson and the BBC. It's like he's been getting more pissed off lately.
Yes.
And
they're booking Statlander worth of shit. By the way. Also, too, but the only complaint I have, because I've been a big Statlander backer. I always like the way I've always liked Statlander. I like the way I like her look. I like her.
It's going to be interesting to see who's going to, because Willow's spoiler alert. Willow beat Serena at the Rampage taping. So it's like what she said was not a prediction. It was a spoiler, literally. Right. So it's like Willow versus Statlander. The next round of the tournament is going to be very interesting. Who's going to go over there?
The scuttlebutt is Mariah May and Tony are finally going to end up going at it.
That's certainly possible. Mariah May is definitely one of the favorites to win the tournament to get the title shot. I think the further the feud, I think Statlander is going to beat Willow in the second round and go to the finals.
Yeah, and the thing is like like a few weeks ago, not only Trent but Statlander turned on Ospreay, showing not Ospreay but Orange. O names get me confused sometimes. But yeah, the O name, yeah, Orange, but she still with Stokely and Trent's now with Dawn. I'm like, that's where like, there's the AEW that confuses the shit out of me for no reason. Like, just pick a lane, guys. I guess. I mean, whatever. The enemy is my friend at that point, and best friends. Ha ha. There it is.
Shocking. I think this is the first time ever someone won an eliminator match to earn a title shot.
Yeah.
Unless someone can correct me.
I don't know.
That was shocking. I thought the match was really good between Acclaimed and Young Bucks.
I was getting ready. That was the next question. Is like, are we back on the Acclaimed train? Because they still are just missing something that they're
still missing something. I think this helps. Excuse me. We should say.
Man. But yeah, no, I with that, and then Saraya is.
She's recruited Anna Jay into the Outcasts, is what I'm guessing.
So I'm kind of. I mean, Anna Jay needs something to do.
That whole segment was that exchange between Mina and Tony was great.
Yeah.
Good setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 8-man tag. I mean, AEW.
8-man tag was awesome. Oh, once again, Mark Briscoe. Just let him do his thing, man.
Let him do his thing.
Get out of here, Jack Bear.
Did you see the Okada merch?
Yeah. Oh no, that's my other favorite moment for the show. Oh, I'm so sorry, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, heel Okada is awesome.
Yeah. He's just so freaking.
He's
good.
Hilarious.
All right, Tony, don't F this up. Keep this momentum.
This is one of the This is what happens when things are focused. You get a really good Dynamite. This is one of the best Dynamites in a while.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm looking forward to a lot of these matches at Forbidden Door, especially of course Ospreay and Swerve is going to be banger.
Yes. Forbidden Door. When is it not delivered? Someone in the chat, tell me when Forbidden Door sucked.
Let us know.
I mean, there's only been one, as far as I can remember. There's only been one pay-per-view at World's End or whatever the hell it was, and I'm like, well, this show sucks.
The men's bracket is very interesting. So we're probably going to get Pac versus Danielson in the second round, which is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, it will. I think Danielson ends up winning it just because he kept teasing about him needing the title.
Yeah,
before it all said
but he won't win the title. It's like
I'm just saying, I think he wins it.
Where I'm wondering what's going to happen is Jeff Jarrett's taking on an unknown wildcard opponent in the first round. I wonder who the wildcard's going to be.
Hangman's going to be in Blood and Guts if they bring him back.
Yeah,
because
It's gonna be very
If they're gonna bring back someone to piss off Swerve, they're gonna bring back Swerve's arch nemesis.
Jay White versus Phoenix. That's gonna bang.
Oh yeah, it's gonna bang. Yeah. Also, shout out to a Collision. Shout out to Juice Robinson peeing on Black. Did you see that? Remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The Bang Bang Gang.
Oh man, they're very entertaining.
They've made enemies of the House of Black. So,
is the House of Black? Well,
that's the other thing.
Murphy's hurt.
I don't know.
I like how they basically Murphy got hurt, got carried to the back, and they basically diagnosed him and wrote him off TV all in the same episode.
Yeah,
which sucks. But
I don't know because it's like they're always been very heelish. So
yeah,
they're the baby. Are they supposed to be the baby faces if they're fighting?
Gift brought that up in the Discord. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Confusing. It's like. You got to be clear, and it's like who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. It's like it makes it, or people are just they're not going to care because they're going to be like, who am I supposed to cheer for?
Right. Don't confuse the audience. The thing is, we had a heel versus heel where right now Damien's doing a slight slow face turn, even though it's pretty much a baby face on TV at this point. But even though it's heel versus heel,
Priest was completely baby face talking with Seth there. It's like he wasn't acting very heelish. So it's like,
I mean, the typically the heel is like, no, you got to earn your spot. You got to figure out.
No, him handing Seth just a title shot. That's a very babyface thing to do.
It's a very babyface thing to do, but it's also like they're trying to get the audience over on understanding that Priest is a main event guy.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. They're trying to build Priest, and right now Priest, every time he stepped up to the plate, he's either got a double or triple or knocked out of the park. He's done making singles now. He is making quality at bats when they give him the bat on that. And also too, Tony, for the love of God, I'll say it. I know I said it before. I said it again. Whatever you did this episode, don't overthink it. The next one, just keep doing what you're doing with this type of thing. Yeah. Because we've been bracking our brain as fans.
And less learning tree bullshit, the better.
Yes. For the love of
God. Although I still love Branky.
And about me believing in AEW, you know what else we believe in?
Joe Hendry.
We live in Joe Hendry. Let's go over to NXT.
Yes, please.
I can't believe there's NXT where my girl's on it and I'll talk about someone else.
All right, here's a recap on what happened on this week's episode of NXT. The show opened with a 25-man number one contenders battle royal. The winner would get a title shot against Trick Williams for the NXT title at Heatwave. SummerSlam weekend. There was both NXT talent, main roster talent, in the form of like Tyler Bate, Apollo Crews, Phantasma. But as people were speculating and hoping for, TNA talent did show up for this battle royal in the form of Frankie Kazarian and the one that made the internet and a lot of people very happy, Joe Hendry. Yes, say his name and he appears, and he did. Came out to a big reaction, cut a promo before getting into the ring. He was immediately jumped by a bunch of heels, including Frankie Kazarian, beat the heck out of poor Joe Hendry, and Frankie Kazarian tossed him right out of the ring for the first elimination. Needless to say, the NXT fans were not happy about this, shedding bullshit, and they were not the only ones. So the match continued. Despite that shocking elimination for the great Joe Hendry. In the end, it came down to a final four. Oh, almost forgot. Ethan Page was in this match, but was attacked once again by Oro Mensah of Men at Four, and they fought through the ropes and out of the ring. So Ethan Page was technically not eliminated from the Battle Royal. More on that later. But in the end, for who was in the Battle Royal, came down to Dragon Lee, Frankie Kazarian, Shawn Spears, and Javon Evans. The heels got taken out, and it was down to, it looked like Shawn Spears eliminated, but he took out Dragon Lee while Javon took out Kazarian. So it came down to Javon versus Shawn Spears, and Javon was able to eliminate Shawn Spears to win the Battle Royal for the moment, and it seemed like he got the title shot. More on that later. Roxy Perez was chatting a little Vice saying that she doesn't trust anybody, but she's willing to work with her tonight to take care of business. The Good Brothers came up to Chase U to insult them, which led to a tag team match against them later in the show. Then we had a 3-way tag team match, triple threat, as Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez joined forces to take on the metaphor pair of Jakira Jackson and Last Legend, and Jason Jane and Jessamine Nix. Lola Vice and Roxanne picked up the victory. After the match, Roxanne laid out Lola Vice with a back fist and left the ring smiles, turning on her, I guess, before she might turn on her. Avery congratulated Javon Evans on winning the Battle Royal and the title shot, but Ethan Page came in to complain not only that Oro Mensah attacked him once again, but that he was not actually eliminated for the Battle Royal, and should get some kind of compensation for it. Ava said Oro Mensah has already been ejected from the building. He challenged Javon to a one-on-one match later in the show, and whoever won would get the title shot against Trick Williams. Javon said he was willing to do it, and so the match was made. Then we had NXT Women's North American Championship match as Kalani Jordan defended against Michin Mia Yim. The Good Brothers came down to ringside to cheer on Mia. Back and forth match. Eventually, Out the Mud came out, distracted the Good Brothers, which allowed Jada Parker to sneak in from the other side, attack Mia, knocking her off the top rope, and that allowed Kalani Jordan to hit Michin with her split-legged moonsault to pin her and retain the championship. Then we had Nathan Frazier arguing about Nathan Frazier being in the Battle Royal earlier, say they need to focus on the tag titles. Luca Crucifino of the Diligent fan came in and presented Nathan Frazier with a title match contract to take on Tony for the Heritage Cup, and Nathan signed it. They gave a recap of Tatum Paxley showing up to answer Jordan Grace's open challenge at TNA Against All Odds last Friday for the Knockouts Championship. Went on to lose, but put up a heck of a fight. Ofemi came out to cut a promo. Wesley came out to respond and asked Oba for another shot at the title. This time, just the two of them one-on-one. At first, he didn't want to, but eventually, Wes was able to convince him to do it. But he told Wesley that this would be his last chance. If he does not defeat Obafemi for the title, he will not get another shot at the North American Championship while he has it. And Wesley accepted. Then we had Carly Bright taking on Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley picked up the victory with the Shining Wizard. Footage was shown backstage of Gallus being attacked by Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igua. Charlie Dempsey met with Tavion Heights and the rest of the No Quarter Catch crew in the back. Charlie Dempsey offered him his spot. Heights was interested, but wanted to earn it, so Charlie Dempsey booked Heights against a match against Damien Kemp next week. If he beats Damien Kemp, he will join the No Quarter Catch crew. Chase U then took on the Good Brothers. Chase U picked up a shocking victory. Looks like Duke got a little bit of an unknowingly assist from Ridge Holland at ringside for the pin. Duke looked like he thought that he may have done it, but didn't say anything. Aria Grace came up to Kalani Jordan and Ava Rain and, doing her usual stick. So was Sol Rucka there, kind of maybe setting up a match for later, maybe next week. Fallon Henley complained about what's going on to Jessamine Nix, Jason Dane, and all agreed that things need to change around here. Sounds like we may have a new heel alliance maybe forming. So then we got to the main event. All Ego Ethan Page taking on Javon Evans with the title shot against Trick Williams at Heat Wave on the line. Ethan Page picked up the victory with Ego's Edge. After the match was over, Shawn Spears once again ran out to attack Javon Evans to continue their feud that's been going on recently. Trick went up in to make the save, but Ethan Page attacked. And then Javon did a dive, knocking everybody down, and all 4 men were laid out in the ring, close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
All right, well, you were kind of away as we were going through the recap, and I accidentally brought up the Discord. So hey, you got to shut up my Discord because I forgot we were sharing my screen. It's all right. It's production. It's what happens. Now,
my water.
Right. So anyway, guys. So yeah, a great episode of NXT. Obviously, the big news is Joe Hendry and Kazarian, as far as the TNA crossovers. But the thing is what I was surprised with. I know we kind of talked about Joe Hendry at the top of the show, and they basically took him out first, and I kind of joked about boycotting and all that other stuff. But the main thing
I know you were joking, but I thought it was cute because I was like, but it's okay, Roxanne still champ.
yeah, no, and Roxanne did her thing, and it was great. But the thing I will say though, what I was the biggest surprise with is, and I'll kind of go with GIF. I'm gonna go down to GIFs. I'll click on GIFs comments on it as we're going through the recap. But I'll say this because it kind of brought this up is the fact that WWE is promoting feuds within TNA in this show with Kazarian and Joe Hendry.
Yeah, because they've been feuding for a while. They had a match against All Odds last Friday that Kazarian cheated to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their feud is still going on. So they continue with him. So I was not surprised. It's like I know people were unhappy that he got tossed so quickly, but he was tossed. Yes, he was getting up by a lot of the heels, but he was specifically tossed out by Frankie to continue their feud.
And yeah, it just kind of goes into this is like TNA desperate needs to give Joe Hendry the belt now, maybe. But I will say this: I don't know who the champion is of TNA, but I know who Joe Hendry is.
It's Moose right now. He's the champion.
Okay. We all believe in Joe Hendry, Jeremy. Yeah,
well, they definitely are high in him because the big closing angle at the end of Against All Odds was the main event was Moose defending the TNA championship against Broken Matt Hardy in a basically a street fight match.
Mm-hmm.
And he's part of this heel group that's like the
him and
the tag team champions. I forget who they are. They're kind of they're like a version of like the Authority. It's like
it's
like a corporate.
Who were the Wolves back in the day in TNA? Remember them? There was and then it's Matt Cardona's tag team partner.
Yeah, so it's like they're the big heel faction right now. It's like they got the world title and the tag titles. They were beating down both Matt and his wife, and other babyfaces tried to make the save, including Joe Hendry. But then Jeff Hardy, of course, showed up because his AEW contract literally expired like the day before, apparently. So,
and they haven't technically signed contracts with TNA. They're technically
both Hardy boys they're basically working there without contracts.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird.
So it's like, and then I saw footage. Matt Hardy put Joe Hendry over big time after the show went off the air. So it's like he was involved in a big angle there at the end. So it's like, they're TNA's obviously very high on him. And so, and obviously WWE feels the same, or else they wouldn't have, it's like they understand what's going on with Joe Hendry. So notice how like they didn't show any of the other people entering the Battle Royal on TV. Joe Hendry was the only one that they showed. Like I saw footage later on that was aired of when Kazarian came out. He got a big reaction.
Right.
No, they kicked off the show with Joe Hendry's music playing and everyone going nuts.
Yeah. And that was organic too because there's someone just how over he was. That's organic because a lot of times NXT they typically overproduce and have the crowd get really excited and stuff to try and put over the new stars. And I get it. That was organic. That was a pop. That wasn't just a hey, producers are telling us to cheer because we're supposed to. That was very organic.
A lot of people believe in Joe Hendry now, including myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do like this. Is trade Nakamura to TNA, WWE gets Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
I love Nakamura, but it's
Giff is fantasy booking this merger basically. This
I like it.
This
I like it.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards, yes, and Kurt Hawkins. It came to me. So Eddie Edwards and Kurt Hawkins are with Moose. Forgot about that.
Yes.
So that is that true? Is that
No,
because he came out with the Willow character?
No, he was not masked when he came out to make the save at the pay-per-view.
Maybe because in contract, but yeah, is Jeremy referring to Will? Are you referring to Willow? His Willow character that he came up with the umbrella and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Back in the day. I don't know. We keep clicking on the same thing.
Yeah, sorry. I think I think that they want to go back to WWE for one more run before they retire, because that's where they started. So I would not be surprised if they're trying to angle and see if they can go back to WWE for one more run.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's something that I had a problem with. A couple of things I had a problem with the show.
Go with the problems first before we talk more about the good.
Number one, we talked about before, is if they're presented one way on one show, they got to be presented one way on the other. As far as is the Good Brothers,
talking about the Good Brothers
heel, or are they not? And they lost to Chase U, which I haven't got to that segment of explain to me why Chase U is still a thing. So I don't understand that. They're trying to keep something alive that's just dead to me. Like every time, like as I'm starting watching NXT,
like Chase U it's only a matter of time, I think, before Chase U folds. I think it's like it's run its course. As much as I've enjoyed the Chase U stuff, I don't know if it will work on the main roster.
Right.
To be honest.
So that's
it sucks because I liked a lot of the people involved. I'm a big fan of Thea Hale. So is Gift Taylor.
Right.
I think she's got a lot of potential. But yeah, the Good Brothers going back and forth between face and heel. It's like they're heel with AJ, but they're acting more like baby faces, helping out Mia Yim. It's confusing. It's like,
okay,
you're not the only one. It's like I said, my friend James asked me, like, are they supposed to be tweener? This doesn't make it. It's like,
yeah. The biggest complaint that I have, and I'll take you back to an episode of Raw as a comparison of what I felt like watching this. So remember when CM Punk had the title at Money in the Bank, he went away, and written off, basically said, "Oh, Punk left with the title," and then an episode of Raw because PM Punk never signed a contract, so he just left with the title, and they have to award a new champion, and they had Rey Mysterio win, and then John Cena randomly just come up at the end, like towards the end of the episode, and be like, "Hey, I want to challenge that," and then he won it off of him. That's what I felt like what they did to Javon Evans this episode. You literally went through a whole 25-man battle royal. I know, Ethan, at least the story made a little more sense, but I still had the same reaction of like, you just went through a big 25-man battle royal, and he won the thing for a title shot, and then Ethan Page comes up and goes, "Well, I didn't lose, so you got to beat me," and then he loses. I just that. At least they try to make it make sense, but I still had the same reaction of like, you just ruined having a 25-man battle royal.
Yeah, that's the thing that bugged me. It's obviously they're obviously high in Javon. They want to give him a something, but it's like I felt it was overbooked that Ora Mensah causes Page to leave the battle royal. He is not eliminated. I immediately noticed that. I was like, as soon as I saw him go through the ropes and he didn't come back, I was like, I was expecting for the cliche where he would return at the last minute and dump Javon, and when that didn't happen, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Ethan Page was not eliminated for the battle royal. He went, him and Ora Mensah were fighting. He went through the ropes. He didn't go over the top rope. He was not eliminated from the match.
You said you said that during the show. You put it in our Discord, and I was like, okay. And then I went back and watched the show because I had it recorded.
Yeah,
and I went back and watched the show, and I'm like,
I knew exactly where he was going as soon as he showed up in Ava's office. Is like, he goes, I was not eliminated. It's like I was not eliminated for the battle royal. I want to face you. Whoever wins gets Trick at Heatwave. And as soon as that happened, I was like, well, then Ethan's winning.
Right.
And it's like, it was a little frustrating. It's like,
I get it, but you just your big thing was a 25-man battle royal.
This is what would have worked better if they could still do the Ora Mensah thing, because that's obviously still a thing, because it's like Metaphor is still pissed off at him for what he did to him and Noam Dar. So it makes sense. Oro Mensah is out to try
Right.
to wreck him every time he sees him. What they should have done is they do the thing. It's like he gets knocked through the ropes. They fight to the back. He gets down to the nitty-gritty in the battle royal. It looked. Javon tosses Spears out. It looks like he's won, but the bell doesn't ring. And then the announcers go, "Oh, wait a minute, Ethan. Oh, there's Ethan Page. Oh, wait, he wasn't eliminated. He didn't go over the top rope." And then Page gets back in the ring. He tosses Javon out and wins the battle royal.
Exactly.
That's how they should have done it.
They should have done it that way. At least saves hey, when we have a 25-man battle royal next year, it keeps that weight to the type of match that it is, rather than we just did that just so we could.
This was a bit of overbooking that was not necessary.
Yeah, you overbooked this match. Now, granted, it's still a memorable episode of NXT because of Joe Hendry.
And the match between Javon and Ethan was good.
Good.
It's like it obviously set up a lot of stuff, but I didn't like how it's like I felt bad for Javon because it's like his big moment ended up meaning nothing because Ethan beat him and took the title shot from him.
That's another thing too. It's like Javon finally gets over in a huge match that involved a lot of superstars, and he outlasted all of them. And then you're like, oh yeah, but we don't really care for you.
And plus, I was like, wait a minute, why did Javon win? Javon's a big baby face, and so's Trick. Why would you have?
They're they're bros too. Like,
and they're bros, so there's like no heat.
No.
So that's why I was like I knew that the Ethan Page thing was going to come back into play because he didn't go over the top rope when Oro Mensah attacked him. So
yeah, and plus you can't do a TNA NXT. I'm getting all my freaking federations next. You can't do an AEW thing. I got a third time's a charm. You can't do an AEW thing and then just have this big star go right for the title and then they lose and then they just go get lost in the fodder. You had to keep Ethan there. But you had to keep Ethan there and have him come back and win and not overbook and ruin a 25-man battle royal. Was the first time you've ever done it on NXT, especially when you're going to CW. Like that might be your big here's our yearly 25-man battle royal. You don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah, the battle royal was done nicely. It's like so I totally agree on that. I don't think anybody would have said that with this whole crossover TNA. And it's working out. It's been a lot of fun so far. And also, Frightful and other people are reporting, you have not seen the last of Joe Hendry in NXT. He's going to be back.
After that pop and the way
especially if you watch the video where he bitched to Shawn Michaels after he got eliminated about what happened. And Shawn Michaels is a believer in Joe Hendry. HBK believes in him.
Everyone believes in Joe Hendry.
So,
if you don't believe in Joe Hendry, I don't know. What do you believe in? With that. And Chase U is NXT's Bullet Club.
It's the group that it's
just like they keep going with it instead of just letting it go away. In that sense, yes, I get what you're saying. I'm with Giff. I think Thea is definitely a star in the making. For the past couple episodes that I've watched with when I'm like, hey, make Chase U make sense. The only thing that sticks out to me is Thea.
Yeah,
it's the only thing
he's got star potential.
Yeah,
and the fans really love it.
Yeah.
I really like the build here that's leading to Obafemi versus Wesley. I think that's going to be an awesome match.
No, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's not Oba. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. We know how good of a speller you are, Giff. All right, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Wesley.
So it's like you pencil that in for Heat Wave. That's going to be a great match.
Yeah. And a lot of people were saying this is when because it's got this stipulation, and this is when all the Rascals show up. But I don't think they were hinting that that's not going to happen. With that, so they think it's going to be Gallus might still be involved with it because Gallus wasn't even on this episode much. Were they? They
were on there briefly. They were attacked. They were shown being attacked in the back by some of the new younger talent. So they got a new problem to worry about because Joe Coffey was bitching about Wesley getting another shot at Obafemi in the North American title when they got attacked. It was done by NXT Anonymous. So it was here's a little extra backstage footage,
Yeah. Kalani's got some moments. I can understand why they put the title on her.
No, she's got potential.
You got
I
potential.
thought it was a good match. It was more about continuing the feud between Mia Yim and Jada Parker, which I'm all for.
Yeah, it definitely was that. I really like Fallon Henley. I really do.
This heel turn, I think, is working for her. They just got to give her a little bit more to do. They're giving her wins. I like. She's changed up what she wears to the ring a little bit. She's got her hair differently, so it's like you're seeing the differences with the heel turn, and it's like I'm digging it.
The one thing I'm not understanding is Wendy. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah. The Wendy Chu stuff is a little weird. Yeah, it's like,
forget who was she. I think she's with. Is she with Fallon? Who's the other girl that's with Fallon?
She was talking with JC Jane and Jasmine Nix there in the back.
Jasmine Nix.
Yeah.
Isn't she the one that has like the really cool, like she pulls herself up from the bottom of the ring, like during her entrance? Is that Jasmine Nix? Am I getting that right?
No, I think that's somebody else.
I forget. Someone help me out here. Who's that girl? Because she has some aura about her. Whether or not she's really good in the ring, I don't know, but she has some aura about her. The other thing I wanted to, obviously. Okay. So Roxanne and Lola.
Yeah, I want to get your opinion on this because this is very interesting. Because Lola Vice has been been heel for quite a while. So I guess this is leading to a face turn for her. Because otherwise it'd be a weird heel versus heel matchup here for Heatwave with the building toward here.
Yeah. This makes the most sense for where they're booking Lola, is to have her and Roxanne go against each other. Because there's really no big baby face, because we were racking our brain about who would take her on.
They're not going to. It's too early for Sol Rucka to be fed to Rock. She's just going to lose. It's like, it's like you don't want to do that to Sol Rucka. They want to continue to build her up a bit.
No, Lola makes the most logical sense,
especially with the big win over Shayna.
And she was. And
they're obviously very high on her.
Even though she's heel.
Yeah,
the way she's presented, she could easily just be a face and call it a day.
Exactly.
There's nothing like. There's not like what Roxanne's doing. Yes, that's your typical heel, me against the world. Everyone sucks. You need to earn your spot against me. Blah blah blah. Lola's always been just I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me. That's how she presented. And then she showed that with her going over Shayna, which we predicted because Shayna was putting over the new star.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lola, they hinted at it last week, and then Roxanne just doesn't even like people, and I like the way they're doing that with Roxanne.
I like this because it's like they showed that even though they worked together last week, Lola was looking at the title, obviously, like looking at the Precious. But I like that everything was still cool. They worked well together in the match. But after the match is over, Roxanne turns on her. Is basically like, I'm turning on you before you turn on me, kind of heel move.
Right.
So I thought that was a great move from Roxanne. I think if they do this right, this could be a nice little feud and a heck of a match at Heatwave. So yeah, they could easily make the babyface turn work for Vice here, so she can take on Roxanne. Because I think the fans will get behind her.
Yeah. The thing is, it just this episode was awesome until the overbooking. This would have been a B plus to A show, and it got to the C plus because of that overbooking. That I
still felt it was like a B level show. It could have been A if they didn't overbook the stuff with the battle.
I just didn't like the fact that you literally have been like your whole thing of bringing Cody Rhodes in was obviously to boost ratings, but also hype up this 25-man battle royal.
Giff agrees. Her being badass will get her. Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying with Lola is like, even though she was presented as a heel, that type of character, Austin, that's a Stone Cold Steve Austin type of like anti-heroes. Like you're just a badass, just to kill anyone type of thing. I mean, kind of, type of thing. So she wasn't your typical like full heel. She was just in that I'm better than you and you know it. Hence why MJF really hasn't changed who he is. He's our scumbag, but he's still presented as a face, and he still kind of does
because fans love him so
tendencies.
Yeah.
So that's why Lola.
He's kind of like an anti-hero face.
Right, and that's what Lola has always kind of been.
Yeah, you can easily make her like that. So
but yeah, I was just so.
Also, shout out to Roxanne also as well. She's on the cover of PWI.
Yep. Well, she's the golden goose. You got to put her on everything to sell magazines.
CM Punk shared that on his Instagram because he's proud of it. He's always it's really sweet how it's like he's out there to support both of his kids, Roxanne and Cora Jade.
Yeah. Here we go. Real quick for the kids at home. That's CM Punk. Or at least saying that, but yeah, that's Roxanne. That's the golden goose, guys. Get used to her because she's gonna be around for a while.
She's the future.
She's future. She went from being on Total Divas behind a barricade, excited to see Natalya, to being the future of wrestling.
Almost forgot about the news thing. Before we wrap up, the Noah announcement with WWE. AJ is gonna have a match at Noah.
I forgot we didn't talk about. I thought because I was like trying to go through our news, and I thought we talked about it last week. We just talked about Noah. Yeah,
we knew there was going to be an announcement, but we didn't know they didn't do. It wasn't until like Sunday after Clash that they announced that it was AJ was going to.
And I think the Good Brothers. Yes, they did say that the Good Brothers are going over there with them because
where does Good Brothers going to go with them? Which makes sense.
So I think the reason that they paired up the Good Brothers with AJ is knowing that they had that in the background. And they knew how
the Good Brothers are very well known in Japan. They spend a lot of
they're
time
huge in Japan.
They're huge.
I mean, obviously all three of them are known, but the Good Brothers are definitely Japan based. They're huge in Japan from all their Bullet Club days.
Yeah.
With that. So, but yes.
Yeah, and then the very interesting stuff there, and then Io Sky's going to appear for Marigold, which makes sense with the relationship they've built with Rossi and the imminent arrival of Julia when she's 100%.
Is any of the big two doing anything with All Japan, or are they just kind of doing their thing?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I mean, AEW's got the biggest promotion in Japan, which is New Japan.
Yeah.
And then Noah and Marigold. But no, All Japan, have they fallen off that much to where, or WWE's just seeing more of a farm system with Noah?
I think they're looking to cultivate other relationships with other promotions besides New Japan, since it's like New Japan's got the I mean, they're cool with New Japan because they like when the Good Brothers came back, they made the deal with New Japan to allow Carlson to go back to defend the TV title. I think it was.
No, I'm talking about All Japan.
Yeah, I think. Well, they did it. They did the thing with All Japan with Charlie Dempsey going there.
Oh, that's right. I knew there was. That's what I'm saying. Like I was trying to make sure I remembered. I was like, I knew they did something with All Japan.
Yeah. So Triple H is building relationships with some of the other promotions there.
When's the tour? When's the Japan tour?
This summer. I
know it's this year. I thought it might have been the fall.
I can't remember if it's this summer or in the fall. I don't know.
It's coming up soon. It's like five dates.
Yeah, they're doing like 3 big shows.
Gotcha. Well, all right. Well, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode. Thank you all so much, Giff, Jeremy, Dave, for in the chat. And then any comments below, like, subscribe, ring the doorbell. We try and go live every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central to bring you all the thing that was, is, and will be in wrestling. With all the goings on, and Thursday seems to be the perfect day to recap, and then also present what it is because there's nothing really going on Thursday.
Yeah, but we're on our way. We got Forbidden Doors coming up, and then right after that, it's going to be Money in the Bank. So it's
and then the build to SummerSlam and All In, right?
Yep.
So we got a lot of the wrestling world never stops.
It's really starting to peak now because these are the big shows. Money in the Bank and SummerSlam are both big.
Yeah.
Big major pay-per-views for WWE, so a lot of stuff's going to start happening.
Yep, and then Forbidden Door and All In are always huge, especially All In because they got Wembley again, so they really got to stack the deck on that. Which that's why people are kind of worried that Ospreay's going to have the title because I'm like Ospreay's going to fill the state anyway. Doesn't matter if it's for it, but that's why I'm thinking Forbidden Door he should not win it. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. We will be here next Thursday. Hopefully. It will be my birthday on the next Thursday.
Yeah.
So join us for when I get another year older with this, because until something crazy happens, even though my friends might be pulling me away, the show must go on. So keep in tune. We might be telling you a different date, but as far as I know, we'll be right here live, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, to bring you that wrestling goodness.
Or
Even on my birthday. I don't care.
I'll do the Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, it's just Orange Cassidy. So yeah, but anyway, if you want to be a part of this network that known is the Ruckus EV, join our Patreon, patreon.com/RuckusEV. As we'll help you develop shows. We have shows in mind that you would like to do, any type of thing. We are presented of there. We want to help you grow in this YouTube, Twitter, Twitch space that is the entertainment world. Yes, and then follow our Twitter, our Instagram, which we're still going to try to pick up on. Obviously, our and everything is in the description below on that. And then also join us on the Discord, where we talk wrestling 24/7 pretty much. It keeps the Discord going. I won't say that, because wrestling news never stops, nor do we post on the Ruckus Wrestling channel on the Discord over there. So please feel free to join us over there. We have a whole lot of fun with that. But if that being said, thank you all so much, and we will see you all next time.